warm and insightful. Your words beautifully set the tone for what today's event stands for. To share the vision behind this initiative and what it truly means to create an ecosystem of youth development, we now invite Mr. Renjit Ramachandran, the Managing Trustee of Mission Better Tomorrow, and a person of insightful corporate experience and expertise to deliver the presidential remarks.
Good day to each one of you who have logged in from different parts of the world. Our chief guest of the day and our constant inspiration, Vijayan sir, distinguished guests who have joined with us today, and ladies and gentlemen, United in Action for a Better Tomorrow is a vision of Mission Better Tomorrow. We, under the thought leadership of Vijayan sir, have ventured into several social intervention projects, including the Capability Exploration and Enhancement Program, targeting the students of Class 8 and Class 9 of government and government-aided schools in Kerala. The Leadership and Entrepreneurship Enrichment Program, wherein we enrich the capabilities of college students, and Behavioral and Emotional Enrichment Program, where we work with adolescents across the spectrum, are some of our major projects which have made large social impact in tens of thousands of students in Kerala. Education should have no boundaries, and the seekers of higher and better education should be supported and encouraged at all times. India has witnessed an increased number of students traveling outside the country to a quantum of around 50% in the last 5 years, seeking better education or higher education. Also, India being a multicultural country, students moving out of their home states to other states also face several challenges. Realizing that our young boys and girls face challenges, small and big, during their relocation, on a Mission Better Tomorrow decided to work on a peer mentorship platform. It is a proud day for all of us today. A group of smart young professionals and students from different walks of life, under the leadership of Dr. K.E. Harish, have come together to roll out the platform, Ask Your Senior. I'm sure that this platform will turn out to be a blessing for all the students who are planning to move away from their home for higher and better education, and also give an opportunity for the seniors to pay forward and be part of this path-breaking social intervention project. On behalf of Mission Better Tomorrow, let me heartily congratulate Team AYS and I would also like to request all those who are present here for their wholehearted support in spreading this message across the world and helping the youth of tomorrow to take wings and fly. Thank you very much and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your leadership and your inspiring vision that continues to guide this journey. Now it's time to understand the heart of this initiative, the concept of Ask Your Senior, and how it will function as a transformative platform. To walk us through this, I invite Dr. K.E. Harish, an educator, visionary leader, and the CEO of Ask Your Senior. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Joanna. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respected Mr. P. Vijayan IPS, ADGP, Government of Kerala, and esteemed guests, panelists, people who have joined from all over the world, dear friends, a warm greeting. I'm here to give you the concept of what AskYourSenior.com is all about. Ask Your Senior is all about. Before I roll out the concept, I just want to set the context and what is the space of a project of this kind, or is there actually a gap in the society for addressing? So we will just first discuss about that in a couple of minutes, then we'll roll on the project. So the first point that I want to talk about is globalization of education. This is one of the critical context for rolling out of a project of our kind. As you know, education is no longer bound by geography. We all know that the child from one place move out to another place anywhere in the world for higher education nowadays. The geography is no more a limitation. And students are aspiring to study in top universities. There 10 years or 15 years back, they used to prefer the neighborhood universities or neighborhood states. But now everybody looking out of the best universities across the globe. And higher study opportunities are becoming global. And technology became a huge enabler because every child, aspiring child, can log into the university and talk to the respective people and see what is actually happening, which is the best course suitable for it. So technology became an enabler, and global connectivity changed the mindset of parents because parents can talk to their kids, their young, kids through WhatsApp, through Zoom, through Google Meet. So it's not they're not so emotionally feeling the disconnect. That has changed their minds considerably. And exponential growth of air travel industry also accelerated the whole process. These are the contributories of a globalization of education. This is one of the context why we are rolling out the project. Another context is the age dynamics of population. I have just given a few data. What is the median age of developed countries? Japan's median age is 46, Germany 45, Italy 45, England 40, USA 38, Canada 41. And whereas our median age is 28, 50% of our population is below 28. This is actually a critical, line. And when you think about the student population, it is all the more, bigger number. We have 250 million school going students, 25 crore, and 43 million college going students. This is a huge population, almost 30 crore student populations are there in India. Now, when it comes to the other places, as I've told you, Europe, whether it is Japan or the so-called aging population, the universities of those countries are running short of students and they are looking out for the right kind of students. When I say right kind, there are two components: A, intellectual component, intellectual competency, B, financial affordability. And we have a huge middle class in India. So they all are looking out for India as a potential catchment area for their university. So they started reaching out to every school possible, organizations, to get best students or to sell out their own product and courses. So when you look at the trend that is happening, we took some data from 2015. There is a constant steady increase in the outflow of our students. Last year, it was 1.3 million students, moved out of India and enrolled in various universities across the globe. This is this is really a big number. So this is the context why we are thinking about the second point that I want to table, that why we are thinking about a project of askyoursenior.com is very important. Now, this trend is going to, because of this age dynamics, ours is the youngest population. So naturally, this trend is going to be in existence for the next 25 to 30 years, logically speaking. So there are two core issues related to the migration. Whether any child moving any part of the world as a new situation, there are two core issues existing. One is selection of university and courses. Second is managing the transition. So in terms of selection of university and courses, fortunately, we have enough and more career guidance organization in existence. We have university fairs. We have admission campaigns are happening. Recruitment agencies are there, placement cells are there, and all the universities started partnering the school. I am running a school and almost 20 schools, 20 university partnered with us. So this is where the recruitment part, the selection of university and course aspect is, being managed with a straight line. There is a well established system in place. But when it comes to managing the transition, there is no reliable system and there is no helping machinery. There is a huge vacuum existing. So what is Ask Your Senior is all about? Ask Your Senior is all about, I'm just rolling the concept. It's all about a global network of service minded senior students who are willing to help the juniors coming to their city or colleges for what? To help them to manage the transition related issues. Very straight single point agenda. A global network of service minded senior students who are willing to help the juniors coming to their city or colleges to help them to manage the transition related issues. What we don't do, I would say first what we don't do, because I don't want to confuse it with the social scenario. We will not do academic guidance in the beginning. We are not thinking about providing academic guidance or opinion. We are not a career guidance agency. This is the best career, that is not the best career. We don't talk about career. We are not somebody who validate the institution. We are not going to validate the course as well. So what we do, we talk about educating the climate of the new city. How do you open a bank account? What are the cultural sensitivity which you need to keep in your mind when you move into this city? What are the dresses that you need to carry with you? Is there a student guidance center officially? If that is, where is it? What are the housing options you have? Where do you get the internet access? What are the food options you have? How do you manage the medical emergencies in case if you're sick? Unlike India, it's not going to be easy in many European countries. Mobile connection, how do you get mobile connection? How much cash you need and in which currency? These kind of all other precautions, this kind of very day-to-day issues that a child, a young girl or a boy may face. This is what we are going to deal with. So how it helps? I'll give a typical scenario. Consider a girl from a remote village in Kerala, born in an agricultural family, being the first generation of for higher studies, got admission in a country like Germany where English may not be working. The transition would be very challenging or even sometimes traumatic. She never been into the flight before. She does not have the street smart of managing a big city. That is where a senior will walk in and give her a step by step instruction what to be done, what not to be done. This is all about helping to manage a future shock or a cultural shock. Ask Your Senior. What is the vision of the Ask Your Senior project? Create a global mentorship network. How do you do that? Provide objective and unbiased and honest information, guide and mentor young talent as a pay it forward model, introduce growth opportunities for juniors. We met about 67 in the last 2 weeks. I met about 67 seniors all around globe. People from Australia, Germany, Geneva, a lot of people, USA, Canada. Every senior said one statement. This is the statement they said. Sir, I wish this was the 2 years ago when we started our journey. Everybody repeatedly said, today we have joined a girl from Geneva, Alagananda. She also said the same thing. I wish this was there 2 years back. So we could not have been in trouble. We could have avoided a lot of trouble we happen to be in. So this is what the spirit is. How it works? It's a website. As of now, it's a website. And in the website, you can see a country column. You type the country where you wanted to go. And what will happen is the country list will automatically fall down. You write your country of your choice. It's not about inquiring it. Once you get admission, once a child got admission only, it will work. It's not about a career guidance. So assume that I've got admission in an Australian university and I wanted to talk to somebody in that university. I can write Australia and click. What will happen? Every student in Australia will appear in the website. So Shreya Shonai, she's studying in Queensland University and Technology. Now I know I have a senior in that university. All I needed is to click and say that I would like to connect with you. This is what they have to do. And what we do, the AskYourSenior.com team will arrange a 30 minutes Zoom meeting. We are not going to share the telephone number of a junior to senior or senior to junior because we do not want them to be become liability to another person. There should be a nuisance value. So the AskYourSenior.com volunteers will arrange a Zoom meeting for 30 minutes and they can give all their questions in advance, which we will share to the seniors, and the senior will appear and will try to give them as much clarity as possible. And it's a one-time meeting. And there is no cost. It's a paid forward model. Paid forward model means I help somebody and that somebody helps somebody. That person will not help me back. I help somebody, that person will somebody help somebody, and the help will keep on continuing. It's going to be a web of virtues. This is all about. And the team AYS, askyoursenior.com team, whoever is doing all this business, all this thing, it's a team, the team who conceived it, developed it, and runs it. It's a set of young volunteers, students, and young professionals from across India. This is what the team of askyoursenior.com. Thank you very much. Back to you, Joanna.
Thank you, Dr. Harris, for that detailed and enthusiastic walkthrough. We are all excited to see how this takes shape in the real world. It is now time for what you've all been waiting for. It is my honor to invite our chief guest, a man who needs no introduction, Shri Vijayan IPS, Additional Director General of Police Kerala, a change maker in the youth empowerment, a transformative leader, and a compassionate human being to deliver the inaugural speech.
Thank you, John. Very good evening to one and all. Harish has made an excellent presentation. He has set the things roll now, and I think that concept is almost very clear to all of you. And I must congratulate each one of the, especially Mr. Harish and the team. They have toiled day and night to make it a reality. You know, there is he was mentioning about there is a gap. The gap is well established. UNESCO has done published a document talking studying about these the issues of students on migration. As of now, almost 6.9 million students are actually going for a study outside their homes, especially outside their state nations. And India, as it is by end of 2030, it is supposed to be by around 9 million. Then we think that is the once we get an admission, it will be everything will be okay. But the studies conducted by the UNESCO says that is there are several issues that really affects the learning outcome of students. And first and foremost, one is that accommodation and housing. One is that most of the things getting this feasible accommodation, cost-effective accommodation is a very big challenge, especially for the children from resource-limited families. As far as India is concerned, the most sought-after place is America, and United States of America, Canada, Germany, and Australia. So these places is relatively costly, and 30% of students really suffer to get to a good accommodation, means affordable accommodation. So they will be spending a lot of time for this one. So the thing is that sometimes the children, a student may be going for a 2 years course. Initial few months will be gone for this one. The next one is that the mental health and well-being. That is the academic pressure. So lots of pressures they have been undergoing. The new atmosphere, new environment, and academic pressure, and then this financial constraints. Such things are creating a huge stress on the children. 80% of the UK going children are facing this type of mental health agonies. That is what the report says. Another issue, which is, of course, the cultural adjustment and social integration. A child or a student going from a rural area, even from an urban area, totally different cultures will be there. Adapting to new culture is considered to be a big challenge. So, and then that is good, the food access. Food access also getting quality, safe food at an affordable price. It has also been found to be a very difficult for the students, especially from the resource limited families and all. Then transportation, most students will not have their own transportation. Once I was in the UK, I found that it's catching that UK tube. It itself needs a lot of education before proceeding to that place, because there are different lines and all. I was literally struggling initial few years, a few days actually. Then it is and navigating sometimes we'll end up in different places. So by evening and if we are traveling, we don't know where to we will not be able to reach the place on time and all. Then the finance, I was selected for Edward Mason Fellowship, Harvard. Actually, once I got it, I don't know, because some fund will be given by the government. Then I don't know how I could raise. There are several fellowships for several banks and several possibilities. But it was a very short time. I was not having much connect in that time. Then I could not say that I had to skip that program. So here that is if there are a person, that is when the mental agony and well-being, it has been talked about. There are people say that all universities will extend the counseling facilities, but counseling, there will be sometimes a stigma. Sometimes it will be a profession, but you just think about, there is a person who have been acquainted to for a last 2 3 months or 4 months, talking each other, and someone is there in the gate or in the bus station or in the railway station or the airport to receive, or such a relationship could be built up, or someone there in the university to talk about the initial constraints and limitations and all. And then I think that that would be a great blessing in this case. And so only very few people will have such a personal connect in the universities and all. So here it is, we can say in a way, a mentor will be there is when we talk about the mentor, means a friend, guide, and philosopher. In the initial days, it will be can be an extended family. Such a relationship we could develop. Actually, I think that the effort being made by the child or the parents will be more fruitful. It is the concern about every parent and student. Sometimes it will be a more concern about a parent, that is how he or she will be taken care of that place. So that if there is someone very confidential, with confidence we can contact, then I think that is very much appreciable. And here I say that this moment or this particular initiative really fills a gap which is very much required, and it will be very effective. So that's why I really wholeheartedly support this program, that it will be definitely making a big impact. That is, the education is nothing but enabling for the unleashing of human capabilities, unleashing the human capabilities towards a better usage, better utilization, and creating excellent outcome. So when we go for an education outside, means that this will facilitate better exploration of a child's or a student's human capabilities. So a child spends 3 or 6 months solving these financial issues, travel issues, accommodation issues, all these things, that then effectively that person may not be getting much time to focus on the education. So the day one itself, if a child entered into the true process of education by getting a proper support from a mentor, I think then there will be a great blessing. Here it is actually what Harish has presented. It's only a beginning of a big dream, because it is we dream that I myself consider as a dreamer, that and we are dreamt like that. That in 2010 we thought about creating a network of young children in the name of student police cadet program. That time we just started in one school. Then now it is in the 13,000 school. It is covering around more than 1.5 million children. And then after we have started plethora of institutes. Right now, with the support MBT and the government of Kerala and some other with the support of UNICEF and all, will be mentoring or will be supporting almost guiding almost 2 million children across the nation. So I'm damn sure that if this dream realizes, it's a that just like we have started with this initial mentoring type of thing. Later we can we can convert it to promoting internship. And then the mentor itself is every person would like to have a mentor. I really aspire to have a mentor. I too have few people. And at any age, all the one time, that is a mentor is it's a concept. Mentor is one person will be a one-time mentor. At the same time, he can be or she can be a mentee too, because this is the process. For someone is studying in Delhi, one university, in Jawaharlal Nehru University, or that he or she can mentor a child or a student, aspiring student from a remote area of Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand.
Yeah.
At the same time, the same student who is studying for at JNU will be aspiring a fellowship or a research scholarship in Michigan University or Harvard University or Oxford or any other university. He can he can get some guidance from finding out a mentor outside the country also. So this is a process. It's a cyclical process of changing, moving from one ladder to another. And moreover, once we complete the education, still there is a need of a mentor, because there are several people, legends who has made life, a remarkable impact in the society. If we get such people in our group, and if they take the mentor to these aspiring entrepreneurs, aspiring civil servant, aspiring scientists, and like that, so the possibility is enough. It's immense also. It is, if we can stretch to any level, based on our effort and imagination. So I consider it's a great opportunity and a great platform to create a network of young leaders across the nation, across the board, and out of which some people will have a huge and a potential to be a change level. It can be a state level, national level, sometimes a global level. So I consider that this platform be used as and a center for incubating ideas, innovative ideas, and change-making efforts also. Such possibilities are there. I consider those who are assembled over on this platform be an ambassador of this great cause, just not for in promoting alone, but at the same time sharing your thoughts and ideas in strengthening further this work. This is now a base model has been presented in front of you, and there is, you all people are highly thinking people and very imaginative people. If you all of your inputs and thoughts are put together, we can create a better and more effective platform. As Mr. Ramendra and Ranjit Ramendra mentioned, Mission Better Tomorrow is it's not an organization, rather it is some sort of gathering where the like-minded people gathered over, united in action for creating a better tomorrow. This network also is to create a better better tomorrow, not for India alone, for the globe. So here, we generally, I used to say that tomorrows are created today. Our youngsters, our children are today. If you really make use of them and enable them, harness their energy, I am sure that the world will be much better to live, work, and enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the stirring and thought provoking words. Your presence has truly elevated this occasion. Without your foresight and solutionary mindset, this space could not have been identified and this project would not have been made possible. Please note that we have posted the link to askyoursenior.com and the registration link for those interested in the chat. So please do check out. We now move on to other guests to share their thoughts. Our first speaker was supposed to be Dr. Indira Rajan, MBT trustee and the Secretary General of the National Council for CBSE Schools. But unfortunately, she was not able to join us due to some unforeseen circumstances. So now I would like to invite our next speaker. I would like to call upon Councillor Arin Udayaretti, Deputy Mayor of the Royal Borough of Kenningston and Chelsea, to speak a few words. Welcome, sir.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Jonah. Thanks for the introduction and thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to share the stage with many of the dignitaries, especially Mr. Vijayan. I've heard about your initiatives and your service to Kerala and India. So quite joyful to join you on the stage. I mean, as Ranjit have spoken about his Dr. Hari, sorry, apologies. You spoke about the initiative about Ask Your Senior. I think it's basically a platform, a guidance platform for someone who's planning to go abroad. And it's a reflection of my own journey from a an ordinary student to become a deputy mayor of Central London is quite remarkable. And I look retrospectively into my own journey. I always felt I needed guidance somewhere, and that link was always missing. And I made many mistakes, either because I didn't have the proper guidance, or my convictions were not exactly what could have been. And the other, something called the realization of things, like you make mistakes, although they could have been avoided by proper guidance or proper reflection or proper common sense, you call it. That's why when you do things, never do with emotions or anger or greed or anything. Do it whether if it's sensible to do it. That's what I felt. So my journey, unlike a lot of people, started the same way as most of the people. It, you know, I was a normal boy from Andhra Pradesh. Grew up in Hyderabad. I did my plus two, and then I was playing sports. I left to UK because I was on scholarship. I'm playing tennis and cricket. So I did that for 3 years, and then eventually joined on a full scholarship. I think this is where the initial success came in, and the stepping point of my career. Because as Mr. Harish, you spoke about Dr. Harish, presumably, you spoke about the choice. The destiny is determined by choice, not by chance, because chance is obviously is based on the luck. um don't go abroad just because everyone else are going. There has to be a purpose, there has to be a reason for it, not just you just going there for the sake of going. And that's quite important, the fact, because whatever you do has to be useful for your future life. So a long-term vision is always important. So there has to be a planning before you enroll in a course or you choose a course, which has prospects or a deep interest within yourself, whether you want to choose that career moving forward. I think that's where my stepping stone. And then I think there's a saying, there's always a saying. Excuse me, I just have to call my office call. There's always a saying, which says, hope is the next big thing to success. If you don't dream and hope, you're not going to go anywhere, because that your mindset automatically triggers your focal point of perseverance. So you need to have the hope to achieve something. And I fought the student election. I became the first Indian winning the student elections in Strathclyde. From then, one of the big thing when you want to be successful in, not necessarily you have to be super successful. When you have to be successful in your own right, the good thing is to have best friends, good gurus. As Vijayan sir said, you have to be a mentee and a mentor at the same time, because that eventually gives you your perception changes, because you're seeking knowledge from someone, but also you're spreading that knowledge to your people that who requires some guidance. And I was fortunate to meet Sujit, who's also in the call. We worked together, established some of the good think tanks that helped India-UK relations as well. Through that process, I happened to meet many politicians. I worked for them. I worked for David Cameron. Then I had the opportunity to stand as a counselor in perhaps uh, something called the world's most credible administrative division in the world, which is Central London and Kensington, Chelsea. Uh, Politically, my statement might not be correct because it's recording, but based on the GDP, it's the world's technically it's the world's richest constituency. That's what I call it. But on political grounds, I wouldn't say that. But it's the most historic and an administrative division that has connections to the rest of the world. So in my borough, which is like a district or a town, however you call it, because it's London, technically all 181 countries, how many countries you have? I don't have the count of the countries. Every single country has a link to this administrative division in Central London, either historically, art, scientific, We've got one of the best universities, the Imperial College is in, I think it's number 2 in the world. You talk about politics because majority of the embassies are based here. You talk about the residents living here are from technically all parts of the world. So in that respect, I'm quite grateful and honored to be part of this journey. And I guess one thing that really comes to my mind is that when you come abroad, especially when you choose abroad, come with a plan. It's not like, whether you want a settlement or whether you want to establish yourself in the UK as a long-term resident, or in fact any other country. You also have to think about how you're going to see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years. Not just come there and seek small gains where that would help you temporarily. Always think for a long-term vision. I think that's important. Having said that, there are hurdles, as Dr. Harish, you pointed out, they need guidance. And I think platform like these, interactions with people like Vijayan sir and, Ramchandran ji, I mean, you spoke about some of the relevant issues. Sushma ji, you also spoke about many things that are, considerably important for these kind of journeys. And Ask Your Senior would be a platform. I wouldn't say only the platform, would be one of the platforms that would enable this gap between the requirement that's required for people who wants to go abroad. And I'm happy I'm there to help, and I'll be interacting with many of the upcoming students or your team, in fact. And thank you for having me in your event.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging words. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Ankita Sharma, a consultant with the United Nations, to share her thoughts about Ask Your Senior. Welcome.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
First of all, good evening, everyone, and a big thank you to Vijayan sir and Manoj sir for having me on board. It's a real pleasure to be here as we launch a platform which I think that will truly transform the life of a student, not only nationally but internationally. And I had listed down a few shortcomings that every international student face or national student face, but coming third to speak, I'm out of those shortcomings. But there are few lived experiences that I would like to share. So, like we mentioned, the lot of multifaceted challenges that one face when you move nationally also, and specifically internationally, because you're not prone to those kind of challenges. And the biggest one for me was language barrier, because coming to Switzerland, where they just speak French and German, and English is not used even in the day-to-day living, so that was a tough challenge. Then we have touched upon the financial aspect of moving when we move for studies. I think that is a major challenge and a major aspect when it comes to living abroad, because people who don't get scholarship, half of their time and half of their energy goes into either trying to reduce their expenses or try to find different avenues where they can go for extra income, just so that they are not a burden to their family, or just to reduce their living costs. And that has a big emotional and mental toll on the student. And because these things are happening simultaneously with your academic load and with the challenge of competing in this world, so and especially at current juncture, how the geopolitics is framing itself, where the turmoil is there in US, the same is seen in Middle East. And we know that students from India are catering to different parts of the world. So at this moment, I think Ask Your Senior is a blessing in disguise for students who are studying in different parts of the world. Second, I think that the main USP of this platform is that it is rooted in the lived experiences of seniors who have traced the same path and who can be a guiding light for the incoming students. Because when you move to a new territory where it is unknown from where to get your grocery or bank account, especially when you come to a country which is very paper heavy like Switzerland, you have to do a lot of paperwork, and even in different country you have to get your residence permit, you have to visit the different government bodies there, and navigating that in a place where you don't speak their language is a big task. Even medically also, sometimes new places feel very traumatizing, because if you fall sick and you don't have anybody who will take care of you, and you're not known that which physician to visit or which hospital to go to, that's another challenge. And I think we also spoke about how there is a tension in parents also back at home, that how their child is doing in a new country in an unfamiliar environment. So ask your senior is not just pacifying and providing solace to the mental stigma or mental trauma of a student, but also of parents who are aspiring to send their students to send their children abroad. So I think that this platform has the potential to create a legacy for years to come. And as Vijay sir said, that it's not only about people who are transiting to a new college, but also to a new job. Like I wanted and aspired to be in the United Nations, and getting into the system was a big task, because I was not aware about people who were already working here who could guide me and tell me how to approach things, what to say, what not to say, where to, channelize your energy. I think that becomes a big blessing that we underestimate. I think if you get the right information at the right time by the right person, half of your journey is sorted. And I have seen that, especially in my workplace, that every country has their people who just have these kind of networks, and they help their new incoming students to either intern or get to know the system better, to introduce them to new avenues. So I think yes, not only for students getting admitted into the college, but also for workplace, being having a mentor or being a mentee to someone would be a great initiative. And thank you everybody who is a part of this team to making this a reality in such crucial time. And yeah, I hope that we have a lot of good experiences to share in the coming days, how this has helped to transform this life of students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Your words mean a great deal. Next up, we have Mr. Manoj Kumar, the founder of GS Core, to share his thoughts.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Vijayan sir, for you can say taking this initiative, and Hari sir. Very few words. Uh, I call myself born and brought up hostel because most of my life I spent in the hostel itself. So whether it is school or college or anything else. So what happens when you move to the hostel, and particularly my time, there was no social media, no telephone, nothing. It was more a kind of, it was not even the a study booth or something like that. So what happens, what gives you the confidence? What gives you the direction? What gives you the security? One and only one thing, and that is senior. Nothing else means nothing else. This is the senior who makes you comfortable, who guides you, who you can say does everything for you. And similarly, if you look at this experience at the global level, this ask your senior is not simply about the way Hari sir was saying that it's about the transition. It is much more than that. The reason is basically Vijayan sir, Hari sir has created, you can say, I call it Padosi. So you have created a neighborhood platform for global neighborhood platform. And it's not about connections. connections is in on, you can say, the Facebook or you can say the Twitter or X or whatever. So it's not about connections. It's basically about the purpose and the confidence that this platform will bring. So you may get someone on the Insta, you may get someone on the other platform also. But these kind of platform, why required? Because it brings you the purpose, it gives you the confidence, it gives you security, it gives you reliability. Because as Ankita said, that it brings a lot of lived experience. So one very, very important thing, that this platform will bring a sense of oneness, that yes, we are Indian, and then wherever we are there to mentor our you can say junior fellows and all. And as Vijayan sir said, that it's not only about simply about you can say student is going to one university or another city. It's basically about the hierarchy across the sector, and in the future it will grow in that direction, because in a country like India, where the youth population is so high, you don't have good mentors. It's as simple as anything. So it's much needed. And thank you, Vijay sir. Thank you, Harish sir. And thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj, for that. The next person I cordially invite to speak is Kaviraj Nair, the CEO of the Office of Institutional Advancement at IIT Madras. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Can you see me? Yeah, fine.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this forum, and I was extremely happy and delighted to hear about this initiative. And Vijayan sir and Harish told me about this. So a few thoughts. I mean, I completely concur with all the points that have been mentioned here by my by the speakers before. So if you look at, for example, IIT Madras itself, which I represent, uh, we have about 15,000 alumni in United States itself. More than that, right? Like, and of the 65,000 alumni, we have alumni in 84 countries now. About the 50,000, I mean, almost 40,000 of them abroad and 30,000 of them in India. So that's roughly the split. And what has really helped create this alumni community, right? So it's clearly, it's a network driven by and inspired by seniors. So the moment you get into your first year or second year or any of that, you get obviously get fun days, as you call them, like from the seniors, and that really helps. Whichever university you want to apply to, whether it's like Stanford or MIT or Princeton or any of that, there are enough seniors who are studying there, doing their PhDs already, or like faculty members there, all of that, right? And there are like structured sessions, and that is what really differentiates the IIT community from the many of the other colleges. So when you're in your final year, there are like apping, as we call applying abroad. Like there are app files, there are app sessions, app training sessions, all of that, right? Like, so you clearly get a lot of fun days about how to go about doing the whole process, and that makes life so much easier. And so there's a clear institutional memory that is being built. And I think that's what is being attempted here also, about some of this information that is very critical and crucial. There is a compendium of that is being created through Q&As and other things. And that really helps. And we really have, honestly, sometimes we kind of take it for granted, some of this information that we get, and we don't know how much is the value that can be attributed to some of these things, right? And it is the information asymmetry, frankly, that is a critical parameter in one's career journey or life journey or any of that, right? Like, so this kind of websites actually tries to eliminate that information asymmetry by giving access to lived experiences. So that becomes very important. Obviously, I look at this whole thing as a total cost of transition and not just the financial part of it, which, in a way, I mean, while it's very critical, that can be addressed. But the psychological trauma and other things that one may go through, is something that becomes very, very crucial. I mean, God forbid, even a bout of viral fever when you're abroad, where things work in a completely different way. Some of these developed countries where easy access to healthcare is perhaps not, and it's always through appointment that you kind of get access, of course, in some of these procedures and other things, or getting access to the whole insurance system and all of those things. Unless those things are in place, even a single bout of viral fever could actually make your life miserable and your first experience so bitter that you may just want to leave everything and then get back to your place of comfort. I mean, so then you say that it doesn't matter, this may give me a better job, a better life prospect sometime later, but I just want to run away from this place. Forget about other countries. Even when one move from something like when I moved from Kerala to Chennai or to Mumbai can be a very very different experience for different people depending upon the kind of contacts that one has or one doesn't have, right? I mean, the local train experience and things like that, right? It can be very very unsettling for people. But luckily when some of us moved in, there were things always were taken care of, and you knew where to go, what to do, and how to tackle the system and all of that, and that made all the difference. So I definitely cannot emphasize further the importance and relevance of a site like this where lived experiences are shared. A couple of more points before I close. One thing is that I was just reading, for example, one of my friends and senior from the campus, who's a senior partner with McKinsey and used to lead the Bauer Forum of, the CEO Forum, where he used to advise thousands of CEOs and is based in New York. He has written a book. So some of the things that he says is that at this age, like I mean, after 32 years with McKinsey and after having advised so many of the CEOs, he still has a group of mentors for himself, and he also mentors some 200 300 people, and he finds time to do that because he tells me that sorry, yeah, he says that the importance of the information that comes through, it's very, it is invaluable. Second point there is that I think sometimes we have this feeling that we will tackle things on our own. We don't need anybody's help. But actually, nothing could be further from truth. Especially in a business management or in life scenario, there are things that you can do on your own. There are also things which you need to do with the help of others, and there's absolutely nothing, wrong, or that doesn't make you any less of who you are or what you are, right? So when you have to tackle a difficult situation, there are people to go to. Why don't you take the help of those people, right? Like, I mean, just tackle the situation along with them, with the support of those people who are willing to help. I think that humility is extremely important at every stage in life, and I think that's what I have learned, right? I mean, there may be difficult situations where the CEO may find it difficult to deal with the board members or the chairman of the board, and you need to kind of figure it out how to approach the whole situation with the help of people who have done this before. So I think that is what is really getting enabled through a platform like this. People who have been there, done that, how to kind of channelize and create an institutional memory of that knowledge for the benefit of the posterity. And at some level in life, we all come back to the stage like we want to pay forward. And I think the team has really tackled into that aspect. There are enough number of people here who really want to pay forward. So why don't you leverage that? Right. And, I think so it all comes together. The need is very well established, as people said, and the reason why we go to an United States or UK first is because we think that things are easier there, unlike a Switzerland or a Germany or a France, where because of language barriers and cultural barriers, we may find it difficult. But with increasing globalization, trend of globalization, and I think we should be able to tackle all these things by taking some bridge courses, some getting some understanding of the cultural nuances and sensitivities and things like that. So all that can be tackled through this, and I would like to congratulate the whole team for the thought, for putting this together. And this is certainly good. And this also offers a lot of possibilities going forward. This is just a beginning, right? Harish and I were talking this morning, and there's so many other possibilities one could come up within the subsequent versions and things like that. So thank you for doing this for the future students of the country, and really appreciate it, and wishing all of you the very best.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now over to you, Dr. Harris.
Yeah, since there is no, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, before you invite Alagananda for vote of thanks, I just want to mention a few points. All the programs that MBT initiated so far, as it is, intellectual input for SPC or ORC, all these program that the society as of now acknowledge as something very important, was the identification of the issue first, and collectively discussing, articulating about it, and coming up with a solution, and then taking it forward. So I would really want to acknowledge that specific skill of Vijayan sir here, looking at a beyond and above a police person, look at the issues that are actually futuristically coming into a society, and start talking about it, identifying about it, and look out for people who would be able to address it. and assimilate, connect all of them together and come up with a solution. That is exactly happening in Ask Your Senior as well. Though the youngsters, the people who are working for it, doing day and night for making it happen, the very thought is again came from as usual Vijayan sir. So what I would request to the participants here is that you don't need to market it, but you need to share the very concept to your colleagues whoever wanted to go abroad, or if you have somebody who is studying in foreign country who is willing to help yet another youngster who wanted to migrate, please ask them to be line up with Ask Your Senior team so that they can help somebody else. Or if you have somebody who wanted to go abroad and who wanted to get some help, definitely this is your place. So we would request you to take the best out of it, either in the form of giving or in the form of taking. That's from my side. Since there is no question answer session, back to Joanna.
Thank you, sir. To conclude this meaningful event, I now invite Ms. Alagananda, who's doing her higher studies in Geneva and who's volunteered to be our first generation seniors wanting to handhold the youngsters. I request the young leader to deliver the vote of thanks.
Just before Alagananda, before you start, I'm so happy because I did not know Alagananda is there in Geneva. She just entered into Ask Your Senior website in fine morning, and I called her and she said, "Sir, this is very important, and I am going to be part of it." So I requested yesterday, "You are a living specimen of a senior. Why don't you come and do the vote of thanks?" And she is here. Back to you, Alagananda.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you again, Joanna and Harish sir. Good evening, everyone. It is an absolute honor actually to be able to speak at the concept launch of Ask Your Senior, which is an initiative that I believe hold tremendous promise. First and foremost, Shri P. Vijayan IPS, ADGP of Kerala. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for joining us today as our chief guest. So your presence in itself is an encouragement and a powerful endorsement that add value to this platform. Also, Vijayan sir, Mr. Ranjit Ramachandran and Dr. K. Harish sir, and also all the other distinguished people. Thank you for being the visionaries and leaders, and I assure you that we will take the responsibility to carry it forward and start a chain reaction here. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to all the speakers, Councillor Aryan, Ms. Ankita Sharma, Mr. Manoj Kumar, and Mr. Kaviraj. Thank you for your generous endorsement, which adds credibility to the platform. You believed in this concept and recognized its purpose and potential. And actually, your words doesn't just validate the concept, it actually reminds us that what we are building here actually matters. Thank you for that. Next, to the organizing team and the mind behind all of these, thank you for your commitment, for your effort, and for your time in bringing Ask Your Seniors to life. Most importantly, I think your understanding of the challenges that students face and launching this thoughtful and much needed initiative with foresight and with clarity. And as someone who has lived through this transition in a foreign land, which was actually 7 years back, I knew that the quiet struggle of adapting to a new language, new culture, new climate, and even like Vijayan sir said, navigating through daily life. For example, taking a tube in London, and it actually confused me too, sir. And all of these things is overlooked, and it's difficult to manage. And I can say that this platform will fill this gap that has been long existed, but was never really addressed. And here, I am happy to step in as a friend, a mentor, a guide to reassure the new students and support this community in helping. And like Harish sir said, not in an academic perspective, but to in an overall sense of maybe belonging to the new place. And this, I believe, is as important as receiving an education. Lastly, to the senior students who will be volunteering, thank you in advance for your time and especially your wisdom. You are the strength here. Actually, we are the strength here, and we will be making a difference. Thank you for the opportunity, and thanks once again everybody who made today possible. And congratulations, team, and cheers to new beginning. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your heartfelt words. And with that, we draw curtains on this beautiful beginning. Thank you once again and have a very good evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.